All right, good morning. Happy Saturday. Belated CircuitPython Day for anyone who not get a chance to celebrate CircuitPython Day yesterday. If you're new and don't know what I'm talking about, well, hello and welcome. Thanks for checking this out. That's you and you are new. My name is Tim. I go by Foamy Guy. On GitHub and Discord, I usually work on stuff related to CircuitPython. You'll learn more about CircuitPython at the main website for it here, circuitpython.org. It's basically a version of Python that runs on tiny computers. Plug it into your computer. Most typically with a USB cable, it shows up like a thumb drive, and you can edit a Python code file on there. And when you save it, the microcontroller will actually execute that Python code for you. And I am continuing today, working on the game we started yesterday for the Fruit Jam. Oh, I can hear myself, which I do not want. Where are you? Okay, that's good. Yes, thank you. Sorry for bearing with me there. The one extra window open. I don't want to just hear talk. If you don't want to hear me talk either, you can watch with mute. That's cool. Yeah, I definitely don't. Okay. Fruit Jam. So we're picking up this morning on the game we started yesterday. Yeah. So if you are in fact new, then you may not know also that CircuitPython Day was yesterday. We do one day a year is kind of designated CircuitPython Day, where we all kind of get together. There's usually a bunch of live streams over on Adafruit channel. We talk about CircuitPython, kind of just celebrate generally the project, the community, and all the stuff surrounding it. And that was yesterday. And I, for the last couple of years, have done a game jam on CircuitPython stream, a game jam stream on CircuitPython Day. And I did, in fact, do that again yesterday. We made this little game prototype. At this point, it's not really a full game. There's no mechanisms for points or anything like that at this point, but we have a character. We can move around slightly. We need to work on the movement a bit more today, but we have a maze spawning here with a bunch of different Halloween tiles. This is all running on this Fruit Jam device, which is like a little mini computer or a mini sort of game entertainment system device. All right. Thirsty this morning. So I am diving right in. We'll say, as always, thanks to Adafruit. Adafruit is a hardware and software company based out of New York. They make CircuitPython possible by paying the team of folks who work on the project. There's a small team of folks who work on the project full-time. There are some folks like me who work full-time for Adafruit, and a large percentage of my work is on CircuitPython, though not 100% of everything. But it is all open source software, which I obviously think is really cool. And so, I think what Adafruit does is very cool because they not only pay myself and the rest of the people to work on all these things, they allow all this software to be published under open source license so that anyone else can use it, which is obviously, very near and dear to my heart. I think that's a very cool thing. If you want to help support them and CircuitPython, one of the easiest ways is just purchasing hardware from them at their website, adafruit.com. They designed this Fruit Jam device. They are, I believe, sold out right now, so you can't pick up this particular device at this particular moment. But if you're catching this in the future, maybe check in. They could be back in stock. I think some more are coming. But they have all sorts of other microcontrollers and other things that you can hook up to your microcontroller to build fun projects and things with, as well as a Learn system over here, learn.adafruit, where they have all sorts of projects and devices documented so that you can have ideas about what to build, or you can have starting points if you want to build something similar and then take it in your own direction and do something totally different with it. Learn is great for that. There's great starting points here. There's really good like finished projects, I should say, if you want to make a specific thing, but there's also really great starting points if you want to make something sort of similar in some ways. You can kind of get a bunch of what you need from here, and then you can customize it further. So I'm jumping right back into the Halloween maze, and I think the first thing to work on today is going to be the movement speed, which was not very fast and does not seem to be working at all today. I wonder why the movement would be messed up. Let's just... Okay, so that's interesting. Control C doesn't do anything. I guess. I mean, one of two things here. Either I have another device connected. No, I mean, that was the same device. You know, I think that I have seen before... I do think that I have seen before when I have left this controller in, or maybe it was a different controller, I'm not sure. Okay, so I do think I've seen before with a USB device in, like, very infrequently. It doesn't seem to happen all the time. And it seems like if you leave it plugged in for a long time, maybe. I think I have seen it freeze before like that. Now that that's happened, a deja vu-ish for me. If that happens again, we should document it for sure, make an issue. It's so unpredictable though. Like I think when it happened before, it was like I had the thing sitting around for like hours, which in fact applies today as well. I turned this on a while ago. Maybe not that many hours ago, but okay. So right now we have only left and right movement. I do have the gamepad hooked up, little SNES shaped gamepad. And it's very slow, and I want up and down also, and we need to respect the walls. Right now, we could just move right through the walls slowly. Eventually, we want it to where you're not going to be able to move through the walls, and I would definitely like to speed it up some. So speeding it up, I think we can try just commenting these out. See where that gets us. I'm not sure how much faster that's going to make it or not, but oh, interesting. This is not wanting to control C again. Is frozen again. Okay, so we might have a larger problem there. Larger problem there. We need a sleep? Could we be like... Oh, disconnected. I think it's definitely... But this is probably not going to save either if I try to... Alright, if that keeps happening, I may switch, I guess. I don't really want to use a keyboard, but I guess I could... Go get a different gamepad. I will probably take out the food animation if nothing. But one thing I wonder is if maybe this, like... So the main loop essentially is reading from the device. Oh, I think this maybe... If this ever got... We want a smaller one of these. Read size print. $64. Okay. Yeah, we definitely want that to be... Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if there's something where we should sleep here. Well, are we getting timeouts? Maybe we might need, like, timeout here? That works on my head. I think in some of the newer programs I started putting a timeout here. Yeah, I think this might be blocking, actually. Go any faster? The printing was not really slowing us down. for float to int. No. USB host. USB.core. Device. Core.find devices have timeout, which is int, which is in milliseconds. Okay. What does that say? Oh, different than most of CircuitPython, which is usually seconds, which is why I try to float. In fact, I guess. So in milliseconds, I guess, I don't know, 10 maybe? Maybe, well, 10's really fast, actually. Maybe we should go. Interesting. So I guess it returns data even when you're not pressing buttons? Return data even when you're not pressing buttons. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if that's going to do anything. Hopefully that will maybe help it not freeze. That would be cool. We'll see. This, again, that's the same thing. I don't know if that's going to do anything, but hopefully it will maybe help some. So I definitely want the player to move a little faster. So try twice as fast. Let's also, while we're here, we might as well do up and down. And then, what? Oh, copied another thing. And then I think next let's work on the walls. Why are these both minus? One of these should be plus. Oh, because I copied the same one twice, though. Down. Yeah, that should be plus. A little bit better, but maybe still one step faster. And yeah, down and up are working now too, and also diagonal if you wanted to. Although the way the maze gets generated, there's not a lot of diagonal path action going on. Okay, let's try 3 and then on the walls, I think, next. I think another thing that might be cool. Oh, did we freeze? Because it looks like it's failing to save. Now I can't move anymore. And this time it kind of locked up the whole IDE also because I was trying to save at the same time. Gotta probably turn that off. I wonder what's doing that. It's weird. It never hard faults either. Like when it comes back up, it always. I guess I didn't just let it sit. Is this the one? Maybe I already made an issue with this. I don't remember. Now thinking about it. There was one thing I found where it locked up like that, it disconnected, but then after a while it did eventually come back. I don't really want to wait that long for it today right now, though, so I don't think we're going to verify that or not. 3, or did I not save 3 because it didn't work right? That's a little better. I think that's probably good for the speed. Okay, let's try to make it respect the walls. And in order to do that, I think I want a helper function that is like get tile at what chords, because I had that's still descriptive and a bit smaller, and it's already kind of a wordy name. And this is going to take a tile grid and a X, Y, and pixels. And it is going to find tile that is at that point by... I mean, we don't necessarily need the variable, I guess. I do want this helper function because I don't want to have this code everywhere. But basically, we want X pixel over tile. Y pixel location over tile height. And that. Do I want the X, Y, the cell coordinates of it at all? Right now, I don't think I care about the cell coordinates. That may come back to hurt us if we do a camera. Although I was thinking maybe instead of a camera, what might be cool is just like fog of war, so to speak. They say in video games a lot. So we'd have like, maybe we render a layer of black on top, and you are allowed to like see around the character, and as you move to more places, it reveals that part of the map. That might be a fun way to do it instead of a camera that pans around a larger map. Because I think when it has to scroll, based on how fast, or not fast, based on how slow this kind of renders here, I think anytime, like if we were to use a camera and move to a different section of a larger map, I'm pretty sure we would have to wait on that same speed of rendering anytime the scene changed, so to speak. So it would almost be less like a camera and more like a zone wall, sort of, where you like hit the wall and then there's like loading for the next one. But Fog of War would limit it to where you're like only visible around the character to start with, and you have to kind of explore. And that might be a fun, I think that'd be a fun mechanic to implement as well. So that's going to give us the tile that's there, and then I think what we can do to start with, we're going to have to make this a little bit smarter in a minute when we add candy, but to start with, we don't have any candy, so we can just say that anything, we're going to look in the world tile grid, and we're going to say that transparent tiles are passable and any other tile is not currently. So I think I also want, we could make like a player sprite object, probably would be good. Yeah, maybe now's just the time to do that. I'm not going to bother putting in a different file for now, but I am going to make player sprite or player. It's like the thing in the world that moves around and interacts with stuff. I don't have any of this. Is there any good reason not to extend tile grid? So extend tile grid. And call super, so that's going to be here. Okay. Make sure. It'll work. We are going to change it. Okay. So now I want a like process movement, basically. We're going to pass in the direction that we want to go. In fact, we're going to pass in the modifier. I think. Yeah, I think so. We're going to pass in like the offset of where we want to move to. And then this is basically going to enforce whether or not we're allowed to move there. For now, it's just going to kind of use the world player tile grid. Eventually, we could maybe make a larger structure, a game object that holds both and acts as a go-between so that this won't be directly just accessing the tile grid. But for now, I think we can swap it. In fact, I don't even know if we have to swap it. We might not even have to do that. I'm not sure if we have to do that or not. Probably not. Maybe not. I'm going to call this actually try move. It's kind of like the whole point is to stop it if it hits a wall. Try move. I guess if we really wanted, we could pass this in, I suppose. Yeah, actually, we're going to have to pass it anyway because we need access to it to call this. So I suppose the order of that doesn't really matter. Okay. So what I want to do basically is take the four corners of the player, of where the player would be if we moved by this amount, and then check the tile that's at each of those coordinates of those four corners. And if it's a transparent tile in each of those four spots, then we're allowed to move there. And if it's not, then we aren't. And so nothing will happen. We won't actually update the X and Y. However, one of the things that's kind of nice, usually in games like this and situations like this, is not necessarily taking the absolute four corners. So we have a 16 by 16 player sprite. Instead of using the actual absolute corner pixels, it is sometimes nice to come in from the edges a little bit so that your character has like just a little bit of extra sort of leeway room, so that you don't have to like perfectly line up with a hallway or something, right? You kind of can walk on the wall just a little bit, which is kind of fine also, because our character sprite, it's in a file that makes it 16 by 16, but it's actually got some transparency around it. It's a bit smaller, so there's room for it to scooch a little closer to the walls. So instead of the absolute corners, I think what I'll do is come in by a certain amount. And why don't we set it up so that we can change that easily? So let's call that what, like a margin? Padding? It's kind of like a similar concept as padding. I don't know if that's what they really call it usually for game sprites, but let's call it 2, and then let's find our points. So top left point is going to be self.x. So yeah, and then x would be the top left. So what we'll do is left, so we want to come in, so plus the padding. But also we would want the offset amount that was passed in, right? So our current x plus the offset they're trying to change it to, plus padding. We're going to find out, like, this will get us where the full sprite's going to be, but then the actual point we want to base the movement on is inside the sprite just a little bit. Okay. Top left, top right would be different, though. That's going to be x plus the width is 16. Could tile width just to make it so if we change that, it'll still work. This time, yeah, we can still add this, but we do actually want to subtract the padding because we want to come in from the right side instead. But this is also only the x coordinate. We need the y as well. It's maybe this. Yeah, that looks right, I think. That one's probably wrong. So yeah, we need to top right. We need to do the same thing. No, do we? No, top right. The Y position of the top right. Yeah, actually it should be the same as this because we're both on the top. Okay, cool. Okay, so top left, top right, bottom left. Go back and check if that's right in a second. Bottom left is... No, we don't need to add the width for left, so that's wrong. So we also want to be plussing, always plussing the offset, and because we're on the left, we want to be adding the padding, not moving it. So yeah, nice try. Autocomplete, but not quite. And then this time we need to add the height on the bottom. Oops. So bottom Y point plus the offset minus the padding. It's going to be minus the padding for both of these because they're on the bottom. We want to bring it up. Okay, so bottom right. This one might be closer. So X and width, yeah, we want that. This is good. We want to add the offset, and then that's where we're going to minus the padding because we're on the right side. And then bottom, we need to do the height thing again. So this should actually just match this because bottom and bottom, both of what these are, basically. Okay. Let's print those and see if that worked. Top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. I actually want one per line, so I don't really try to parse them all with my eyes. Oh, why have we? Oh, well, we haven't used that yet because we're gonna get these points and we're gonna pass them to that get tile, and then we're gonna make our decision. So this is unused, but that's fine. So let's just call try move in here. Try move, and this is going to be the current X, so player.x, and then... Is that right? That's right. And then, no. 0. This is offsets. Offsets. That's 0 for X, -3 for Y. Yeah. That's what we want. And then the world tile grid, which we're not using. Pass. Left is minus. This will not actually move the character, but should maybe print the points that it came up with. One problem with this is we now don't... Well, I mean, the bottom 4, I guess, would be set, but impossible to tell where one ends and the next begins. Is it frozen? I think. That kind of makes this difficult. It's like extra rough because the IDE takes forever to catch up. I feel like it was not... If this is the same thing, it was not this bad when I saw it before. It was like I saw it once, I think, when I left the thing running with the controller plugged in for like multiple hours, and I had tried it a few times in that time and it was still working, but then like after a couple of hours it was frozen. It was a while ago as well. I think I don't even think this was before final hardware for sure. Been on a Metro. I don't know if it was old enough ago that I was on a Metro. Save it. Okay, so that is 12 apart, which makes sense because we have 16, but we had a padding of 2, so we brought it in by 2. So those look correct to me, I think. We don't know the exact, I don't know the exact XY currently of character. Yeah, it's 16, 16. So it should be trying to move to 19. And the padding brings it into 21. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. So say for point in all of those, add it to it. We want to get that. And this is tile index. And basically we want to just return if actually let's let's just do it like this for now. Eventually we'll maybe change this. Let's just say, so if tile index is not, I think, let's do that actually. I was going to say the number, but I'm not sure. If it's not that, then return false. That's going to go through all 4 of those. And if we're not allowed to walk on it, then it will return false. So if we make it to here and we have not returned yet, then we are allowed to move wherever we tried to move. So let's go player dot x plus equals x and player dot y plus equals y, and then we can return true. And if we want code later, we check the result of that. It will know whether or not we moved. I don't know if we'll need that, but alright, so theoretically now, yeah, it's not letting me go down anymore, but when I get over to here, I can. Sweet, the wall is not, and I can't go out this side anymore. So now we're respecting the authority of the wall. Garmin. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So now we can move around in here, and we're no longer, don't have wall hacks anymore. So I think the USB thing, it's like something with idle. Like if I keep using it, it stays good. But it's kind of like if you just sit it there, it doesn't like that. Oh, that one's a little harder to hit. So that's like, this is like the perfect thing that the padding is kind of designed to make easier right here. It's like this situation where you want to turn down this hallway, but like you got to line it up perfectly. Not quite there. Oh, now we made it. Yeah, we want to make that a bit actually better even still. That padding allows us to go a little bit back and forth here in this hallway. And it would do the same thing for up and down in this one. Or good. Okay. So that's actually, maybe those are the same problem. Because if we don't have that padding, we don't have that wiggle room for the up and down, then it will make it harder to hit that hallway, which it is. And I'm sure we should have the ability to kind of move down in the narrow hallway still. So for the top left point, we took the Y of the tile grid, we added the offset, we added padding. We want to go inside the tile. Same, because it's still on the top. Are the differences between these different? So it's 12 and that is 12. Is it, maybe our problem is that the wiggle room is 2, but the size of the step is 3? But I don't know why that would affect Y differently than X. But maybe it does kind of make sense that this needs to be bigger than the step size, I think. Because otherwise, still can't really move. Okay, yeah, now I can wiggle a little bit up and down here. And I can still go side to side here, although we get pretty far on top of the wall on the left side. The right side, I think the boulders just have more empty space. Get over here. Well, and Blinka also has more empty space on the right side, actually, I think. That was not too bad to hit that. That's not too bad now, I think. Get over here to check. Honestly, moving even still a tad faster wouldn't be bad. Okay. I think you actually get, if you can find a spot where you can use diagonal movement, because of the way the movement works, you actually get to move faster with diagonal. I think there's a way you can mitigate that in the code, but I'm not gonna bother. Okay, that's pretty good. Let me try 4 padding. I don't know if I like that as much, but let's see. Oh, it froze. I should have control C'd. It seems like you really need to either be using it or exiting out of it right away. It's 2 different options there seem to both do the same thing. They both closed the file. But maybe that one will have written, but I mean, it can't write to it if the drive's not there, right? We need to wait on this thing to notice that there are files. I'm in port number 2. Is there any sense in trying the other port? really think it will matter, but I should maybe also another pair of these controllers. Actually, I wonder if this is. I don't know if this is the controller that came from Adafruit or not. We bought a pair from online elsewhere. And I just grabbed this one from the drawer the other day, but I'm not sure. Looks like. I tried to change the padding. And honest, I would not even be too opposed to the they're faster. You have to go all the way to the right side to get back to that left bottom quadrant. Okay, yeah, that's pretty easy to hit, I think. Okay. Let's try to do the fog thing. I think fog of war would be kind of cool. We have below tile grid, we have the apprehensively named player tile grid. We should call that main tile grid or walls tile. It's not gonna just be walls though, is the thing. I think we're gonna put handy in there as well. It's almost just like main level. Kind of like above, below, at. Same level as the players, sort of makes sense. For Fog of War, we need dark tiles. So I can either use sort of the Starry Night Skies looking ones here. I don't think we can use the clouds because I think the clouds would be transparent in my version, right? Yeah. Need like a solid one. Okay. So let's do it this way. Let's make an above tile grid, fill it with a random smattering of the stars, and then go from there. So we know this is 14 wide. We want 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what I should have done was I suspect if I ask, I've been playing a little bit with the open source GPT model, the 20B one, 20 billion, 20 bytes. I don't know what that stands for, honestly. The AI thing I'm still fairly new to, but I've been playing with it a little bit. I bet it could easily write a script that would create an overlay and print little numbers of the index, which would be nice to know. 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times 14, and then probably another 8, I think, because that's 4 and 4. And that would be 1 based. So that means that 97, index 97 should be this gargoyle here, which rings a bell. I think we used that for the walls. So another 8 on top of that. 97 plus 8. 105 should be the first one of these. So 105, 106, and then 14 more than both of those. Say fog tiles. Did I say 105, 106? Right, because it was 97 plus 8. Yeah, 105, 106, and then 119, because we need 14 more than that, and 120. Then let's make a above. Why this is like half the excessive. I wish this would like, I feel like it doesn't always come back to the same. Like, I don't know if I did it or. Doesn't help that when I go to this size, I kind of want it to go away. I wish it would hide by default in that size. You could call this fog, I guess. Yeah, technically, I think world above. I don't know if I will end up using it, but it would. It's kind of a different, slightly different concept than the fog, because it would be for things like if we wanted to put in these trees, they're 2 or 3 tiles tall. They're actually 2 by 3, I think. There's 6 tiles total. We would basically want to put the top 2/3 of that in an above tile grid that's on top of the player, and then the player would be allowed to walk behind the tree. They're going to walk underneath that above tile grid. But I don't know, like the light post is another good example. There's a light post up here. Be the same kind of deal if we wanted to do that. Or this cross here is actually a 2 tall as well. Basically, it gives you the illusion of being able to walk behind objects. Which is kind of cool, but I don't know for sure if I'll do it. Fog, though, if we, like, I want to reserve the ability, the chance to do it if we decide to. And so fog will make a separate thing. The default file, the default tile will just do, I mean, transparent's fine, honestly. We're going to go and change it anyway. Shall we just fill... I mean, we're already looping over the height and width here. I feel like we should just do the fog also. And... shouldn't this be before the skip next? Because skipping only applies to the walls. Surprised that... Well, what did I put as the default tile? Okay, the default tile is one of the grasses. I'm pretty sure technically this is making it so that anytime we draw the right half of a casket, which is 2 tiles wide, we are not randomizing. We were not, because I just moved the code. When it was down here, we were not randomizing the grass tile for the right half of the casket, which is like getting covered up anyway by the casket. So like matter, but I'm pretty sure that's the case because of that being underneath there. And the fog is going to be the same way. We want the fog to be not caring about the skipping. The fog is going to happen regardless of skipping. So fog, XY, random choice of the fog tiles. We need to add the fog tile grid to the main group, but we need that to be after the player. We want it to be on top. And I'm going to run this, and it's going to just cover up everything. Or not quite everything. Maybe, well, we could change the, we could edit the thing. They're like a little brownish. I wish they were more dark blackish. Also the ground got drawn. I must have my numbers wrong. What's up, C. Grover? You today? I must have the numbers wrong, right? 105, 119, 120. That should be 4. But we got some grass, so I think I might be... So the most likely thing, I guess, is that I would be off by 1. Maybe I did the indexing? 106, 107, and then 20, 121? Okay, there we go. Now we have Starry Night Sky. Technically, I can still move under there, which I am moving so that we hopefully don't freeze up the thing. Yeah, so we need to clear the fog around the player. So I think what I'll do is... Again, I'm kind of just throwing functions in here. We made a class for player, but it's also just kind of thrown in here randomly. it'd be probably good eventually to make like a game class and organize some of this a bit better under an object that can kind of manage the puppeteer, so to speak, of all these different things. But for now, I think I'm just gonna keep smashing in new functions. So let's make a like clear fog, and it's gonna take the player object, and it's gonna take the. It's gonna whine about that being the same name, and it's gonna take the fog. Can I call it grid? It will be the fog tile grid. So this time, what I want to do is take the center point. We have reached the point where I do actually want the coordinates, but that's easy. We can just divide the coordinates. That's fine. That's a slightly less boilerplate, I think. That's no problem. So I want the center point of the player in pixels, and then I think what I'll do is just say the 9 tiles around whatever tile that center point is on get cleared. So the center point of the player, that's going to be player.x plus half of the width. Y is going to be basically the same. Then we want to get the tile coordinates. Is going to be the center x over 16 over, let's tile grid dot tile width. It's all 16. But that's x, so we'll make this a tuple, I guess. Yeah, this might get wonky if we try to move to a player sprite that's a different size than the tiles. I'm not sure. For now, okay, though. Okay, so that's going to give us XY in tiles, and what we want to do is clear out the fog for that tile and all the tiles surrounding it. So there's a bunch of ways I can think to do that, but it's kind of the way that comes to mind for me. Super like it, but it's a tile grid. I think I want these as separate ones. Let's say player tile X, player tile Y. So that here we can go tile grid, player tile X, player tile Y, plus X offset plus Y offset. It's not going to be 0 though, it's going to be transparent tile. All right, and then I think what we can do is So here's actually where we can catch the result of try move. So we could say moved false. We could say moved equals. Now we have true false, whether or not we moved, and then we can say if we did move, then update the fog, which is called clear fog, past the player, past the fog tile grid. Oh, let me also call clear fog once at the beginning because we want to start out being able to see. You should be able to see where you're at when you first spawn. Nice. Oh, that's sweet. I like that. Yeah, I've never actually implemented fog before. Game mechanic. It does slow us down a bit. Anytime we have to clear it, it slows us down. And you can't see there because it's like only one tile wide. Oh yeah, and then you get this whole hidden yeah, I like this. I like this. And this will make it a much more fun game, I think, to find the candy. Is you can see the whole map, then finding the candy's not hard. I will say I almost want to like speed up again. So, hold on. Right now we're doing right now we have scale 2, right? I have scale 2 on this. What if instead of that, what if we don't do this? So everything will be tiny. Ooh, okay, yeah, that's definitely a nicer pace. But obviously I like the bigger size. So what if we just did the smaller display resolution? Let's do that. So let's say from Adafruit fruit jam import dot peripherals import. Yeah. I think it's this, but I am not sure. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so now we get honestly the colors are better too. Right? Is that just me or are the colors? I think the colors are better too. But I do think that's the thing. You get more color depth in the smaller resolution. Sure, it's like 16-bit colors instead of 8-bit colors. Because to me the grass looks greener and the sky looks blacker, like less brown or red. The caskets look more different too, to me, to my eye. Now the caskets are like one that's clearly orange or wood or whatever, and one that's sort of clearly like gray, like stone or metal or something. I don't know if they make metal cap, stone cap. They look like more differently colored to my eye than they were before. Oh, okay. We just okay. That's I don't know if we just garbage collected or like we were in the abyss there for a minute. I don't know why it hadn't cleared the fog. Mostly working pretty good for clearing the fog, honestly. Yeah, I like this. I like the speed and everything. I like the speed better. So let's I think we'll keep the 320. Honestly, the colors look nicer here as well. I like that too. I wonder if there's any chance that it fixes the freezing. I don't think I'm adventurous enough to not stop my programs, but okay, cool. So we have fog, we have a maze, we have walls that get respected. Candy, I think, is next. So candy, there's a couple of candies here in the tile set we're already using. Like here, and I think that's supposed to be candy, and that's like a bucket of candy. But if I'm honest, like these candies, they kind of fit the motif of the rest of the tiles pretty well. But they're kind of like dull colored, if I'm honest and being kind of blunt. I think these other ones that are a bit brighter just are more fun. No. I don't want to buy viewers. What am I going to buy viewers for? Well, if you want to watch, watch. If you don't want to watch, don't watch. I don't want to pay anybody to watch me. Yeah, so I think I want to use these candies. Maybe this little zombie hand seems kind of cool too, actually. Oh, we have a zombie hand here. Okay. I think I might put in a couple zombie hands just for fun. Theoretically, we could sprinkle in some bats. If we did do an above layer, we could sprinkle in some bats, and you'd be able to walk, like, beneath them. That could be kind of fun. I do think the more layers we get, the slower it will run, though, so I'm not sure. I don't know if we want to do too many more layers. We could cheat with the fog layer. Could make the fog layer do double duty, sort of. So what we could do is, when fog gets removed, we could like roll a dice or whatever, right? Take a random chance and then add an embellishment in its place. So like a bat. Because then it would still be over the player, and you wouldn't interact with it. Although we would have to change the logic for clearing, right? Because the bat would just get cleared instantly again by the next call. But we could update that function to not change non-sky. I don't know. Let's get the candy in before we worry about embellishments. He says after spending a good minute worrying about how the embellishments might possibly work. So we cannot mix sprite sheets. So right now I have pretty candies on a sprite sheet here that I want to use. I think I kind of want to get a bunch of these things, honestly. I think I want, like, the pumpkins I think are cool in this one. It's the same thing again, where it's like these ones have pumpkins, but they're a little, like, they fit, you know, they have like dull colors, right? To fit the motif of that tile set, which is cool. But these ones are a bit sort of shinier, so to speak, just brighter. And I kind of like them. But we can't mix the sprite sheets in the code, right? We have to make a tile grid that is set on a sprite sheet, and we cannot just also use another sprite sheet in the same tile grid. So the easiest way to solve this is to merge the two sprite sheets, basically. But I mean, I guess we could just make this one bigger. But honestly, I think there's a lot of stuff in here that I'm not going to use. Like, I don't know if I'm going to use trees at all, first of all. These trees are kind of massive at 2x3. And I certainly don't need 4 different varieties of trees. So if we did want to use trees, we could get by with 1 or 2. I think it's kind of fine. I also don't want to be like doing too much pixel pushing, pixel pushing, moving around and such. How big is this file right now? Find directory. $46K. That is 3 more rows, and it's 128 wide. I'm also tempted to take out the brown grass. We're not using the brown grass at all. You know, I don't really foresee using this big temple. Use a new color for that so that I don't have 2 pinks that look almost identical. Might be able to fit it all in this. I mean, I'm also not using like the fancier grass tiles at all here. We're just doing the basic square cut grass, so it's so this is what? This is 64 by 80. If that's enough to hold on. Oh, hang on. Undo. So we need to make sure we have colors. Using 36 colors right now. 37, I guess, because that's zero based. We can go up to 128. We have a lot of room for colors. We can go back to RGB, then we can paste this. That's going to give us these nice, bright, vibrant colors. Moved up. That's got to be the right spot, I think. And then we have 2 rows only. 32 all, isn't it? We could do 2 more rows, not 3. Unless we get rid of the trees also. I think I'm fine with. I know I said I didn't want to do a whole lot of pixel pushing, but one thing I do think, if we do ever want to use the trees, one thing that might be kind of nice is let's keep 1 dark tree and 1 light tree, and also keep 1 tree with a hole and one tree with no hole. Put this one here. Get rid of these. Then we have enough room to paste all the rest of these. Why that would be 1, 3, 4, 0. Frankly, I don't even really trust that it's. I think those are the numbers from the other file. And we can, I mean, we can put it anywhere we want, but I'm going to move it up just so that these are. Make sure, though, the spot here. Okay. Where 80 should be the next one. 96. Next one. Okay, so we need to go up one more. And then another 16 would be 112. I don't like stuck with just this is like not moving at all. There we go. Okay. 112, and then let's just do the next two to make sure. So it should be then 16, so 28, and 30, 34. Okay, cool. Also end up with a bunch more transparent pixels here. All right, and then let's go back to indexed. And let's check. We should be using a lot more colors, but hopefully we're still not bad. Still using only 80, so there's like about another 50 still we could use if we really wanted. We do want to move this pink here to 0 because the code is going to. We want to do that when nothing is selected, otherwise it gets all crazy like you just saw. Select everything and do that again. This needs to be 0 because the code's going to call make transparent 0. There we go. Re-export this. But and change the name since I have now modified it. Combining multiple. packs together here. Okay, now we can need to change the file name. Sure, the rest of this still works. So good. All right, so spawning candy. So first, let's get the candy tiles. Gonna need those. That is going to be 14 times 4. 56. So I was off by 1 last time and I did a -1. So I guess this is actually 56, which means I'm going to count jack-o'-lanterns as eh. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I think I want to. Yeah, I'm going to count jack-o'-lanterns as candy. So we're going to say, kind of generically, candy is just the things you're trying to collect. I think jack-o'-lanterns are pretty cool. I mean, it would be weird to walk around and just take jack-o'-lanterns, but I don't know. It's fun. For the game. So that's going to be, 56, 57, 57, 58, 59, 60 for sure. And let's put the code in and see if it works and make sure that we don't end up with wrong stuff. So if we're off by 1 again, I'd rather find out now than later when I have a bunch more things loaded in. So I think to put the candy in, let's say here. No wall station. So if there's no wall, then let's just say like, so I mean like a grab bag would probably be the correct way to do this. Like choose ahead of time and say we want to spawn, 10 candies or whatever. And then make sure that we always spawn 10 candies. I think for now I'm just going to keep it totally random though. So let's just say we roll a dice. Roll is random and int. Just say 0 to, it'd be 4, I think. Roll, so then if roll greater than or equals to, I think I want the candy to be fairly common. So maybe 6 or 7? I feel like 7 was fairly common. Ended up with 9 here. And we still have quite a few caskets, honestly. I think this should give us a decent amount of candy. We can always change it, though. If the roll is greater than that, then we want to spawn a candy here instead of a wall. So let's say player tile grid XY equals random choice from the candy tile. Move anymore. Oh. Right. So it's not letting me move because the movement code is looking for transparent tiles. So we actually need to also make, I like to call this concept walkable tiles. Tiles you're allowed to walk on. Which is going to be the transparent tile, and it's also going to be having all the tiles. I'm actually going to make this a list. Add the tiles. All right, and then in the code that checks whether or not we can move, which is in the player, we can say if tile index not in walkable. Okay, so yeah, right away, I am noticing that we are not. Oh, that thing where we ran into the void again. What's up with that? So we have some of them, but not all of them. I think we're off by one again. I do gotta run to the restroom though, so I'll be right back. So we do have 3 candy corn and 2 pumpkins, and it looks like we're using the top left of the. Okay. We must have been off by 1 again. We use that top right, so we're missing the first pumpkin that has no face. So we are 1 too high. We need a -1 on tile. By 1 again somehow still. I swear I -1 last time and we ended up off by 1, and then I didn't -1 this time and we still ended up off by 1. And it did look like there was candy spawned on the same, like, where we started, which is, like, nice. Free candy. Gotta love it. Yeah, it's kind of a lot of candy that spawns, but I don't know. I like it. Okay, so for some reason right there, it's, like, always... Wow, is it because I was so close to the... Because I was so close to the left wall, or... That here, though. I don't know. It's kind of a lot, but oh, I got that thing again. Yeah, I think it's when we're too far to the left. Maybe our center is technically. Maybe our center is technically not in the right, not on the tile I would have thought it was in. I just want to uncover the rest of the map so we can see how much candy total has spawned. Maybe we should make the fog be one bigger. That might just solve the problem of the weirdness being too close to the wall, not revealing the tile that you're actually on. And maybe and the other reason I think it would be nice is because all the walls are one tile and all the hallways are one tile. If we always reveal 3x3 around the player, most of the time what we're revealing is the floor tile that the player is on, the tile they just came from, and the tile they can move to next, and the walls that are on either side of them, right? Whether it's top and bottom or left and right. Like, most of the time, that's what we're revealing. I think it's kind of nice. I think it's kind of a little bit better for the game to give you one more tile of visibility. That way you can see the next like room over. You like know there's candy over there and you want to go find how to get there. Rather than now it's like you want to see what's there because you can't see it but you don't know. Once you can see a little bit further, you can be like, yeah, there's definitely candy there. I want to go get it. But what if we made that one more tile wider? Oh, get an out of bounds error. Wrap that in try catch. Yeah, because now you can see, like here, we can see this candy corn. We know we want to get there, but we haven't found the way yet. And see, now it's like we got to go all the way over here just to be able to go back. Yeah, I like this better because you can kind of, you get a taste for what's ahead a little bit more. And it kind of sidesteps the problem of being too close to the wall, having a weird revealing pattern. One thing we could do is make it like not a box, I guess. It could be like, maybe we could cut the diagonals out so you get a 3x3, but then maybe you also get the tiles on the right and left and the top and bottom, but maybe you don't get the outsides of that 5x5 box or something, like the corners. I don't know. I'll tinker with that probably a little bit more. I think I will end up changing, because I will say it is a little big now, truthfully. Is it like here? I would not mind if this was still covered here. So maybe what we do is like you get you get the 9 tiles that you're centered on, and then you also get one more horizontal, one more vertical, one more top side also, one more left side also. So we wouldn't be able to see this. We wouldn't be able to see either of these or these. We wouldn't be able to see this. But we would still see this pumpkin here and this pumpkin down here because they're in line. So basically you get one extra tile vertically and horizontally, but not diagonally. I think that'd be cool, but I'm not gonna, it's like a relatively minor thing. I'm not gonna bother tweaking the code right now. What I will do, I think, real quick here is try to kind of complete the sort of core game loop at this point. We have a world, we have a player, we can move around, we have goals, the candy, but we cannot like really collect the goals per se. So I think I want to do that real fast. So score equals 0. And where do we want to do this from? I guess we just make another thing like this. I'm just gonna call it take candy, even though like it's, if there's no candy there, then it will just not do anything, but excuse me. Okay, so this part's all the same. Get the pixel center, get the tile center, and then if that tile is a candy, then remove it, basically, and add one to the score. So if get tile at, oh, we don't need, well, we don't need that, actually. We don't need to do the, we already, we could pass the pixels in, I guess, if we want to. We already kind of did this. So let's say if world, power grid that's passed in, if the thing that's at player tile X, player tile Y, if it is in the candy tiles, make the score plus 5, whatever. Oh, yeah, right. Not the best, but I'm just gonna do that for now. So add to the score and then also remove the candy. So tile grid XY equals transparent. Take the candy away. And print the current score just so we can see somewhere. It's not on the screen yet. I would like to see. Oh, I left it running. I left it. Oh, that is so. That's awful. Oh, man. Alright, so it does not stop that from happening using the smaller screen. Um. think it's gonna like give me control back until I reset, and when I reset, it's gonna erase the code that I just got done writing. So where like I've pressed both of these buttons and they both result in just immediately closing this file. And the thing is, like, right now this file is here and it has the stuff I just typed into it. So like I really wish I could just use stuff I just typed into. Select, highlight, copy, get access to, but I think it's gonna be gone, right? Just like reverted it so it's gone now. But like it was showing there, so like it's some part of the computer still had it. Basically got to rewrite that. It's kind of a definitely we need to document and create an issue for the host. I need, well, okay, so I need to grab the other, I need to try other controllers. I need to figure out if this is just a bunk controller or what's going on here. That could be possible too. Then I mean, I suspect this is not necessarily a super common thing though, because I think other people are using these controllers. Like Sam Blenny has the demo with the two controllers. I don't know if he has these controllers or not, I guess. But surely this would have probably been seen someone else. Doing anything. Oh, it shouldn't be fog. It should be world player. Square isn't defined. The one thing that's weird is because we spawned on a candy, because a candy spawned in the same place as the player, as soon as we moved the first time, we instantly pick up that candy. But because we don't call take candy until we move, we don't actually pick it up until we do move. So if we just stand still, then we'll just stand on top of it. Alright, sweet. Now we can pick up all the candies, and we get a score when we do. Well, we get 5 points when we do. And they get taken the world. Okay. I think I am almost probably done for the day. But one last thing which I will do. I really want to use these candies. This one, I don't know what's up with that one. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a candy or a different thing. It kind of looks like a dirt ball. I guess it could be like a truffle, a chocolate or something, but it's just out in the open by itself, which is a little weird. Like, these ones are wrapped. The candy corn is out in the open also, but that's kind of how candy corns are. I guess it could be a malted milk bowl? That one I'm not sure about, if it's supposed to be a candy. Since it's unclear to me whether it is, I think I'm going to skip it. So what we'll do is we want 28 more than these three also. So candy tiles, 57 plus 28, 85, 85, 86, 87. Oh. Ghosts. Didn't go far enough. Oh, it should be 28. It should be another one. We need another one. 32, not 28. 2? No, 34. 28 is just wrong altogether. Is it? No, okay. Tiles. 14 tiles wide, 16 pixels. I'm getting my 16 and my 14s. So, yeah, 28 gets us to these three. We need to go 14 more. Again, we actually needed 3 times 14 more, not 2 times 14 more. So, well, we could just 14 again on top of this. So 96, 99, 99, 14 more. 99, 100, 101. There we go. Got red and yellow. Have a blue candy? Get a blue candy. Ooh. Yeah. I didn't move and then I still got... I don't know what's up with that. Oh, there's a blue candy. Okay. Blue. All right. Cool. That is all basically working. I do want to tinker with the fog a little bit more, like I was saying before. I think I'm going to get rid of the diagonals, or like make them not as far on the diagonals. I like to put the score on the screen. Right now it's just printing into the serial, but it'd be good to show that obviously to the user. That might be kind of it for that game. I don't know. We'll see if I end up taking it further than that. I'm not sure. I mean, we still have a while before Halloween, so maybe I'll add some more. Maybe like the bats and stuff I was talking about earlier might be kind of fun. The zombie hand would be kind of fun, I think, to put the zombie hand in. And maybe there's a couple more like embellishment things that might be kind of cool to do, I think. But I don't know. I don't know for sure if I'll get to them. We'll see. I think the bulk of it, though, I'm pretty happy with. I do also want to obviously check. I want to grab all my other controllers and see if I'm getting the same freezing thing happening on all of them. Not, then put this one in a special don't use this trash can. And some embellishments, but otherwise I think it's pretty cool. This is a good, I think this is a good this is a good sort of game prototype for the 3 hours I jammed into it. between the stream yesterday and today. We could also, what we could do is every time you get all of the candy, we could keep a count of how many candies there are, and if you collect them all, it could spawn you into a new maze. So maybe you just get to keep playing essentially if you want. Might be kind of cool. But I think that's gonna do it for today. So thank you for watching. I hope everyone enjoyed. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend. I believe that I'll be back on Friday for Deep Dive at the usual time. That's 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central over on the Adafruit channel. I should also be back next week on my channel at the normal time, 10 a.m. Central Time. So about 2 hours ago is when I started streaming today. And I usually stream every Saturday around that time. Like I take time off. Like last week I didn't. But most Saturdays I stream at that time. So 10 a.m. Central. I think I'll be back next week for that as well. Otherwise, I think that's it for now. I will bid you farewell and say